this is Eugene Jarvis, and welcome to Video Game Bullshit!
This is Master Daniel Facina. Get over here to Video Game Bullshit.
Welcome to episode 117 of Video Game Bullshit. Doing crazy stuff today, Tristan. Man, dang, it's been
hopped up on energy drinks or something.
I'm hopped up on coffee and motivation. Well, how you been, man? What's going on, Tristan?
Oh boy, we got some stuff to talk about this week.
I think we do.
Yeah, we do.
I was like, mine's like normal stuff, and yours is like...
Mine's like life-altering.
Exactly.
For a long time.
I think we start with the life-altering, man.
Okay. Straight out the gate. For the longest time, I mean, ever since I was getting out of the Air Force, back in like 2020, I was deciding what I wanted to do. And one of the options I always had was going back to school because, we've got this thing called the GI Bill. I don't have kids, so it's not like I was going to transfer those to my kids. My wife didn't want to go to school, so, it's up to me to, I like school. I'm weird like that. So
I agree. You are weird like that.
But it wasn't until I joined a little company called Premium Edition Games that I realized how much I love graphic design. And so I have decided to quit my day job and do graphic design school at University of Nebraska, Omaha, full time, starting this January.
Freaking, that is awesome, dude. That is ridiculous. And I'm telling you, like, you're, a few years ahead of me military-wise where you're already retired.
Sure, yeah.
I've been leaning more and more toward that as well. Because, I mean, initially I was going to do the same thing, go work for, a company in alignment with my military service. And as Premium came around and, is doing amazing stuff, it's like there's no reason not to just see how deep the rabbit hole goes, Alice. It's like, let's just go.
Yeah, and I have Jeff to thank here for putting my professional life and my fun professional life at odds with each other. The
most
it's a good
important
thing, though.
question I have for you, though, Tristan.
Yeah.
What does Mrs. Tristan feel about this?
She is 100% supportive. I could not be luckier. To have a partner that is understanding, number one, and supportive, number two, and on board. She's very happy for me. She's excited and anxious just because it's going to be a big change. But if we weren't financially secure,
she understands your condition.
Correct. Yeah, she knew. She saw the look on my face every day. I want to preface this by saying that my day job, it was fulfilling in a different way. Everyone dreams of waking up and going to work at a job that they love, they genuinely love, that they're passionate about. I can honestly say that somewhere along the way, working with the intelligence community for the past 20 plus years, that passion has kind of subsided. Do I think it's important? I think it's unbelievably important. But it's just not for me anymore. I've come to that conclusion. So, I've decided. It's
understandable, man. When you do something for as long as we have, in our fields on the professional side. Ooh, professional. On the professional side, though, it does take a tax on you eventually, and it becomes, a little bit Groundhog Day-ish.
Yes.
And I completely understand. I mean, heck, you just dedicated how long away from your wife to support the organization, and it was still like now you get to do things in alignment with what you want to do and how you want to do it.
I know. Right? Yeah. So whereas like, I said that, they were at odds with each other. I was always like, stretched a little thin. And you know, I'd be at work, but like looking forward to whenever I got off work to do the stuff that I wanted to do. Now I only get to do the stuff that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I am fully aware that I am very privileged in this position to have a military pension. You know, unfortunately, I'm not going to say that, you know, drawing VA disability is like a good thing, because, you know, my back is messed up. It's just what it is for my time in the military. But because of those supplemental incomes, I can afford to do something like this.
Keep in mind, though, you absolutely 100% earned it based on your service. Like, so I would never feel bad about what you dedicated 20 years of your life to do.
I understand that.
I do. That to me, like every single veteran that has put in a full career's worth from the military side, it takes a toll. The physical requirements
really does.
the military requires, like, I feel like a damn old man right now.
Yeah,
and I'm
dude.
in the finish line, and like I got a kinesiology tape on my hip because I pulled it doing some dumb stuff. And so like now I'm feeling better, but it's like I still got to operate like I'm a damn 18-year-old, and I'm in my 40s, and it's
that's
like,
right. And
I
we're
don't feel it.
Yeah, we're expected the entire time you're in the military to be militarily ready for action, and that means that you're physically fit in you know, a certain way,
ready to go to war for and
exactly
country.
Right.
And that's why it's like everyone's like, oh, you're retiring really young, and I try to parallel it to professional sports. A professional football player or a professional wrestler or anybody, like their lifespan typically only goes to about 40. After about 40, you can't compete at that high level anymore because your body eventually stops, you know, operating that same way. And the military currently does not have a way to support any service member without the physical requirements and not be, you know, looked upon as disfavorably. That's why you go to the civilian sector and do your job from a civilian perspective, and it does pay well on the civilian side too. But the key is once you've done it for 20 years, you've done something for 20 years. And I feel those that got to do 40-year careers on the civilian side too. And it's just, we 100% get it. But yeah, no, I kind of say that though is like 100% earned, man. And you should take your time to do what you want to do. If you're financially stable and your wife supports it, which I mean, you're good. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, who's to say how deep we go with this craziness? Because imagine I'm going to be retiring here in a little bit, and I was able to get some stuff started, a couple little things started while I've been active duty. Imagine when I have.
I know, yeah. Wittenhagen Unleashed. It's going to be chaos.
Dude, I'm just saying, like, I will have some time.
Yeah.
And like it's gonna be interesting. Very, very interesting, dude.
Awesome.
But yeah, congratulations, man.
Thank you. It's pretty cool. It was definitely hard to you know, break to the team that I'm currently on. Like I said, we have a really important job, and the people that I work with are some of the most intelligent people I've ever met in my entire life. It's definitely not me leaving is not a product of you know, me wanting to leave that team, because it really was awesome to go to that place and do the job that I did. But I just know that it's time to move on.
Yeah. I mean, and that's my thing that's really tough is like my wife's done moving, so she doesn't want me to move around the country anymore. But I really love what I currently do as a senior non-commissioned officer. Like I love it. I take care of soldiers, and it's been the most rewarding job I've ever done, career I've ever done, and even since I've been in the military. And I feel like I'm doing pretty damn good at it. And you'll see on social media, on my Facebook, since now I only have people that I personally know on it, like I'm allowing some tags from Army stuff. And like I'm doing stuff like multiple times a week, like we're doing stuff all the time. And it's great. It's awesome. But the thing is, I also have to respect that my wife has sacrificed a lot over the last 20 years around, and
Mhm.
she would like to establish, some semblance of normalcy.
What's that?
Well, and then plus, like, now that things have went where they have with, premium edition games and having that opportunity that came around, like, might as well see how far that goes. Because to me, some of that stuff is once in a lifetime. It's why I started doing the game things. Like, when else is Nintendo going to give me that opportunity again? If I don't do it, it
It's
may never come
incredible.
again.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to go crazy with it. You know what I mean? So it's like it's probably going to be because it was always the 5-year plan. We're 3 years into premium. 5 years is when I could hit retirement. That was kind of
Yeah.
my design. I feel like that's kind of you know meant to be at that point. And I mean, you might have a college degree by then, Tristan. It might be
Yeah,
time to.
I just might. I'll actually be a fully fledged graphic designer, maybe.
I mean, I always consider degrees as,
Yeah,
without
it's
as a piece of paper. However,
Yep.
hopefully, and I know you will, hopefully you get some new techniques, some new optimization, some new
and that's exactly what I'm looking forward to, because both Jeff and I mean, we're tooting our own horn here. We're pretty talented.
self-taught.
Self-taught. Yeah, we're both
Self-taught.
self-taught. So I'm looking forward to filling in the gaps that are in my knowledge, and learning new tools in order to further what I do with Premium Edition and in the projects that I have on the side. It's going to be awesome. Like, I'm so excited.
There's so much more we can do once we have the time. So imagine like I mentioned, 60 hours, because I don't work a 40-hour work week in the military. It doesn't happen. So imagine having all that extra time. Like, we can actually get real equipment and go a little harder with production on podcasts, on trailers and videos, which includes editing and portions like that. We can, when we go to conventions, and we can go to more conventions. But when we go to conventions, we can do recordings and vlogs. I've been wanting to do vlogs forever. I just don't have the time.
Sure.
And because the editing on the backside to make it professional and engaging takes some time. Because right now, video game bullshit is raw. We are raw. That is not in alignment with YouTube's algorithm, so we don't expect to get big.
Yeah.
And we're doing the podcast side as respect to, Kyle, who passed. That's why we brought back video game bullshit, to go down the rabbit hole with it. Our other podcast, the Phobos Militia Hobbycast, I think my wife and I are going to record a Terrifier episode in the future, which will be fun.
Cool.
That was non-video games. It's always everything else.
That's fun.
Been doing that. I think we only had a few episodes maybe that Kyle and I used to do. But that being said, though, imagine being able to vlog and go a little harder with production, have a videographer that could sit there and do some editing for us and really grow like an identity. Because I got some crazy ideas, Tristan, of some of my favorite stuff that I know, and being able to do it with fan interaction and at conventions. Like, I got some crazy ideas that could be real fun to do, and not even for a YouTube algorithm, but more so like, we'll create DVDs. We might know how to do packaging and do production. Like, literally, I want to create like a show almost, and I already have the ideas. I already have the script out. Like, I've been working on that for like years.
Awesome.
But like, adding that to the mix is going to be super fun, and it'll be in alignment with what we're already doing, which is even better. Yeah, dude. It's going to be a crazy fun retirement / new adventure. And to me, it's like you're also betting on yourself, but also the American dream is, working for yourself and running your own business.
I know.
And that's exactly what we're doing at Premium, is we're all like, individuals here that come together to make really cool stuff. Imagine how crazy we could go with all this stuff, and what other stuff we can do to get our fingers in. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. One thing I actually need to pick your brain on after we're done podcasting here is so one of the conversations that I had with my coworkers, the people, the government people that I worked for this past week, as I was like kind of wrapping up my work there, one thing that I'd been doing for them on the side is doing some graphic design work. We have customers, we sell ourselves, we sell that program that we work for to the other members of the Intel community. So in order to put your best foot forward, you have to look professional and have professional stuff to give them. Well, I remember I walked by someone's cubicle at one point and I saw this like trifold pamphlet it looked so bad. It was obviously like a copy of a copy of a copy of something that someone made like in their spare time. Nothing against them. It just wasn't very professional looking, in my opinion. So I took it home. I redid the entire thing. I've got some equipment. I've got some nice printers. So I made some nice pamphlets for them, and they were super impressed. And now that's what they're giving the customers. Well, I preface that to say that one of the conversations that I had with these guys is they were asking me if there was a way that I could stay on with them, as like a consultant or something like that. Well, I would have to establish my own LLC in order to do that. And I know you've done that in the past. So I'll have to pick your brain, Jeff.
Yeah, I have some plans for post-retirement that we might have to sync on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think you know where I'm going.
I do. I absolutely do.
Well, let's do the pinky. Yeah, dude. So for my news, not as life-changing, but it is life-altering, and I think it's a cool thing. It's right here.
Yes.
So, last weekend, my wife Andrea wanted to get a Boba Fett tattoo. So she wanted to get her whole arm done with Boba Fett on it. And she's like, oh yeah, it's gonna take like 3 hours to do. And it was on the same time that we were doing a hail and farewell, which is when you come to the organization or leave the organization, you get together and have food, and they, say good things about what you will do or what you did do. And since I'm still relatively new here to Hawaii, they did my hail over there, and Andrea was gonna get her tattoo. They had actually double booked at the tattoo parlor, so she had to go back on Saturday. And so Saturday I actually went with her. I'm like, hey, I'll go and hang out. And the 3-hour tattoo that she was going to get, we were there for 6 hours.
Oh, man.
They didn't finish it because she wants to put flowers around Boba Fett.
Dang, dude.
And so I was like, I had mentioned, and I don't know if I mentioned it on Video Game Bullshit, but when I got my Metroid tattoo in Waikiki, I wanted to add the Castlevania whip to it to make it Metroidvania. So while I was sitting there, one of the other tattoo artists, he had a girl come in, and she ended up not being 18 and wanted to get something done on her rib cage. And he's like, our policy doesn't allow that. So he had an opening. So I'm like, hey, dude, I have this idea. And so I can ask you, which you probably already know because we've already talked, but this is what I ended up getting done. And I don't know how well it'll show in the camera.
That shows up pretty well, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So I ended up going with the Flame Whip.
Yes.
Castlevania. Now, there's some significance for Video Game Bullshit with the Flame Whip. I don't know if you know the significance, but also, do you know where this art of the Flame Whip is from?
I'm going to say Castlevania 2, but I might be wrong.
It is Castlevania 2.
Okay.
The Flame Whip was used in Castlevania 2 and Rondo of Blood. However, this specific art was actually from Nintendo Power Issue 2.
Oh, cool. Yeah, the one where he's holding Dracula's head.
Well, yes. And then inside the magazine, they showed all the different versions of the vampire killer and the Flame Whip. Now,
very cool.
The significance of Video Game Bullshit, the last episode I recorded with Kyle was Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest.
Wow.
and it was retro reimagined. We played the revamped version, the fan hack that makes it fucking playable. And the Flame Whip was Kyle's favorite upgrade of all time in all of Castlevanias.
You want to hear something crazy? I love Castlevania 2 so much. I still have a code memorized. I will never forget it. CODS K26K RXCAN VLJK. If you put that in, you get all the items.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Dude. And I don't know if you played the revamped version of Castlevania 2, but what it does is it fixes all the nuances that and bugs that people didn't like. So essentially,
all the
it makes
cryptic crap.
All the cryptic crap's gone. A lot of the blank falls are gone when you fall through some of the castles. And it makes it a lot more approachable. It doesn't do the cycle as bad and all that stuff. So it's an amazing. It actually makes it in alignment with some of the best Castlevanias ever released.
Yeah,
so,
and some people hate the original Castlevania 2, but I've always loved that game. Always loved it. The exploration, to me, in that atmosphere, and I mean, it's still got the awesome Castlevania soundtrack. Bloody Tears is a classic. I mean, amazing. Just so good. Like, I love that game. And I thought it was hilarious when AVGN went off on it, saying that it was a terrible game. Like, to me, that was really funny because I think it's awesome. I think it's a great game.
Yeah, I remember chatting with James, and he did that all as a character. So he was
absolutely sure.
He was going over the small nuances and blowing them out of proportion to make it a big script. And he loves Castlevania. That's what's great about it. Yeah. The thing is, though, is that being able to add a tribute to Kyle here, which actually connects
that's really cool
with the Triad tattoo that Kyle, John, and I got together.
Yeah.
It actually connects to it almost a little bit as a Morning Star. Really awesome. And then, of course, it completes the Metroidvania with Zelda, which are my favorite genres and styles of all time. So absolutely perfect in alignment. So yeah, now I feel like my tattoo is, even more complete as I continue to the artwork on my body. It's pretty
good choice. Good choice.
Pretty fun. The only other thing that I got going on, gaming wise, is my wife actually got Mortal Kombat 1. And she is currently right now downstairs playing the story mode.
Dude, guess what I'm playing right after this podcast?
Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah, buddy.
The story mode is like a freaking movie. It's so good.
I can't wait.
I'm disappointed I'm missing some of the story right now. It is so good. Because it's not, they didn't reboot the story. They continued the story after Mortal Kombat 11. And that's what's interesting. It's just how the story after 11 went and moved into this now. And it's really, really freaking cool. I just can't wait to see where it goes. And I mean, it looks awesome. Looks amazing. We got it on PS5. So did not get it on Switch.
Dude, I'm surprised it's even on Switch, to be honest. I heard that the other day. It doesn't surprise me, I guess, just because of sales, but who's going to buy it on the Switch if you have a choice between another one? I know, but it's got to be so neutered.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of back in the day when they would have a PSP release of a game, and it was always rated. I mean, it is.
Give people choices. It's all about choice.
You have anything else going on within the last couple weeks?
I have no room to have anything else going on after that bombshell.
That's true. To move to the news. And you had mentioned neutered, so maybe we talk about that there was a Nintendo Direct in the last couple weeks that just hit. It was a couple days ago, actually, at the time of this recording. So for you, what were some of the standout things that you saw? Because I got one that nobody really was talking about online that I thought was the best thing. But
I'm gonna guess that yours is probably Mario versus Donkey Kong. No, what is that? Oh, Contra. Yeah, the new Contra. That's right.
They're freaking doing a new Contra. Wait for this programming it, which means Limited Run will likely do a physical of it.
Yeah, because Konami loves them.
Still cool that it's being physically preserved.
Yeah.
Because even though we run a rival company, like I still want everything preserved. It's still cool. But
Yeah, no,
Contra, dude.
I was just saying how like Limited Run, they're a rival company, but like they keep putting out all these shmups. I'll keep buying them. Whoever in Limited Run is a shmup fan, I'm a fan of them. Like keep doing it, please.
Well, and the thing is that like they're the Mega Beasts. They're like, and that's a Robot Named Fight reference. They're just up there, man. They're out there. They're doing crazy stuff. And the thing is, we get to. So I can't hate on them. I'm never gonna hate on anyone. There's no reason for it. No room for hate out here. But Contra freaking looks so good. It looks so awesome.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a retelling of the original, maybe a little bit. That's what it kind of was alluding to.
I'm just glad it's going kind of back to its roots. Like, you know, they've oh gosh, what was the last one that they came out with? It was kind of a
Rogue.
dud. Yeah.
Rogue.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it was. Yeah, I wasn't happy with that one.
It was an overhead one, and it just wasn't.
Nah.
It was. If it didn't say Contra on it, I might have gave it a little more credit. But the fact that it was a Contra disappointed me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing is that we've worked at Premium with Retroware, and they got this game called Iron Meat coming out, which looks freaking amazing with robots and robots. No, but it looks cool as shit. So I'd be interested to see what their take. Maybe we can get them on Video Game Bullshit. Maybe we can get them on. But I would like to see what their take is.
That'd be awesome.
Because I mean, I bet because I know they're huge Contra fans. I bet they would be like ecstatic about this. Or maybe they're like, well, we're doing it too, or who knows.
True.
I mean, I played it at too many games like many years ago. Iron Meat, it's so cool. So but heck yeah, man. So that's my favorite that wasn't talked about. Not my favorite of the whole direct, because there's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Mario versus Donkey Kong. Hell yeah.
That was a surprise. Like, talk about resurrecting a dead like little piece of. That's a really niche IP that they pulled out of their hat.
To me, it's a 2-game IP, and then it went off into a direction I didn't like. Because Mario vs. Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong 94 were two of my favorite.
Oh, I forgot about Donkey Kong 94.
Yeah, and they're two of my favorite single-screen platformers of all time. And they scroll a little bit in Mario vs. Donkey Kong. But then after that, they went and did the whole Lemmings thing where the characters are moving.
I didn't like that.
I don't. It's a different
didn't
genre.
Like that either.
So I'm glad that they're going back to the piece. I'm hoping that we get a little bit of Donkey Kong 94 love as well. Maybe on the actual, because I don't think it's on. Is it on? It's not on Nintendo Switch Online, right?
No, I don't think so. I think that's actually going to be physical. Unless I misunderstood.
No, I mean,
what do you mean?
Donkey Kong 94.
Oh, 94? I don't know.
Game Boy version. If it's not on Switch Online, hopefully that gets on Switch Online too, so you get to play both on Switch. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be cool as hell. I'd be excited. Because I think it's really cool to have Mario versus Donkey Kong released on it.
Yeah. So
what's your favorite though?
My favorite, and it's going to be a repeat of another one of their pretty recent directs, Super Mario RPG. I am so excited. I'm so in. I'm so ready. My body is ready. Please, oh gosh, you have no idea, dude. The nostalgia is just so thick with that game, and
did you
the fact
know,
that
Tristan, that I'm in Nintendo Power for setting a record on the original?
I did not know that. I need to see this.
So it's the mine cart.
Yeah.
I set a record on it, and I got cards in the mail from Nintendo Power.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
And I still have them, setting a record in Mario RPG. Like, I freaking love that game. Love it.
Yeah, so I don't think I talked about it on this podcast, or really on any. Yeah, I haven't talked about this in public anywhere, but I had the same reaction, and I wasn't expecting it. I had the same reaction as whenever I watched the Super Mario Brothers movie for the first time. Like, I got really emotional because it means so much to me. Like, the world of Super Mario, ever since I was a kid has meant so much. So to see it actually fleshed out in a way that actually pays it respect instead of what we got, it really hit me hard. And I wasn't expecting them to actually reboot and remake Super Mario RPG, but that game means so much to me. Like, dude, I cried. It made me cry seeing that.
Awesome. Dude, and the thing is what was new with this direct is they showed some of the new features.
Yeah.
It might make it a little too easy with the
Those
accessibility
triple attacks, dude. The triple attacks.
Yeah.
Oh.
It looks cool. And the thing is it allows us to now play it in a different way, because I think we talked about it on the after the last direct, but I was starting to play it on my analog pocket because I have it modded and everything with all the FPGA stuff on it. And I was starting to play it, and then Nintendo announced it, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna wait for it to come out on Switch, because I mean it's coming. It's coming in like a couple months.
November, dude. 2 months from now. 2 months. Dude. 2 short months.
The thing is, it's going to be so cool. I think you can, the other thing is you can toggle the old audio, the music, and the new music, so you can like go between them.
Oh, wow.
I think that's awesome. I don't think it's going to do anything with the graphics. I don't think you can toggle off the old and new graphics. Some games tend to do that. No, but either way, though, I'm excited. I am going to play the hell out of that. We will have to do a bullshit homework or something, probably, or we'll just talk about our experiences with it.
I just there's this vivid memory that I have of playing Super Mario RPG, the original one. Like, I got it for Christmas, whatever year it was. I think, what, 96 did it come out? That sounds right. But anyway, whenever it came out, I got it for that Christmas. And I remember playing it Christmas morning before anyone else was awake. You know, they had gone like back to bed or whatever, but I'm sitting there playing it on my CRT in my room in the dark. And then, you know, the static X spell. Well, I just remember that like flashing and like lighting up everything in my room. Like, it's so cool. I don't know. Dude. That's just it's a random memory that I have of playing that game, but I just love it so much.
I also remember back in the day with Nintendo Power, because it was when they started to do the staple bound.
Yeah, that was terrible.
I remember the Mario RPG issue was awesome. I remember getting the strategy guide from Nintendo Power, and I still have my original strategy guide. And that's how I was able to get to Q-Lix and get all the Mac stuff, because like I was just obsessed with
I'm sure you saw in this latest trailer they said something about the shiny stone.
I mean, I think it's
Q-Lex or whoever's behind that door is there.
There's gonna be more, and I can't wait. And the thing is that I don't think since back in the day that I haven't went back and fully completed it again. Because I did back in the day, but like I think I hit that like fancy medium where I just didn't go back and beat it completely. So it's gonna be great. I'm definitely gonna have to dedicate the time to do it, because I do not want to pull what I call now a Final Fantasy 16, where I haven't went back to it yet still. I want to. But like, as you said though, when you're working a full time, it's there's a lot of time that we don't have, and
especially when you have kids.
Yeah. I got a little one. She's cool though. She likes to play games.
Yeah.
She wanted to get ice cream the other day, so that was awesome. So out of that, the other things that were really cool, F-Zero 99.
Yes, F-Zero 99. Oh gosh, I can't believe I forgot to talk about that.
Yeah.
Holy crap. What awesome.
F-Zero 99, man. I didn't download it yet in that time. I was thinking there's something on the Switch I needed to do. I went on the Switch today. I played Daily Dadish, which I don't know if you know that game, but Dadish is a platformer. You play as a radish dad and go get his kids. Daily Dadish gives you a new level every single day to play platformer. 365 days a year, you get a brand new level every day. You get a star. Once you get 10 stars, if you get your time fast enough, you can unlock new costumes. So I can be like Pine Uncle or like other stuff like that. But it's really fun pixel platformer. So I played that and I'm like, I forgot what I was gonna do. And then F-Zero 99 is out, so I need to play that.
That makes me hopeful. I mean, we've had what? Tetris 99, Mario 99, and now F-Zero 99.
And Pac-Man 99.
And Pac-Man 99, that's right. I was forgetting one. But what other IPs are they going to take and make that, into the 99 formula? What else could we see?
I mean, you know what I really want is I want them to redo the Ultimate NES. Remember when they did the Ultimate NES collection? It was on Wii U, and then they had
NES Remix.
NES Remix, and the Ultimate one had 1 and 2 together for 3DS.
It was so good.
I want them to do a online version of that. That would be
so much fun, man.
Amazing. That'd be amazing. Because I just remember Super Luigi U playing,
dude,
backward, and
it felt so wrong playing it like that too.
I couldn't do it. I tried.
I did. I beat it like that. It felt so wrong the whole game, going right to left. Ugh.
I couldn't do it, man. But I would love for them to do that. It'll be interesting to see, because it seems like it's chaos, and I'm barely able to stay alive in normal. So I don't think I'm gonna like it too much.
It seems like it's gonna be like, maybe it's called F-Zero 99 because it's 99% luck.
I mean, I see myself playing it for like an hour and then I'm like, all right, I'm good, because
it's total chaos, just total chaos.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, unless it has like a gimmick, I don't really get into racing games too much. Like the Burnout series, I really enjoy because it has a nice gimmick to it. But
that crash mode is so good in Burnout, dude. So much fun.
We mentioned PSP. Burnout Legends on PSP had like my favorite crash mode of all time.
Oh, really? Okay, I never played that.
Even better than Burnout Revenge.
Revenge was the one I always played.
Yeah, Revenge is the one that my wife loves too, and that one's probably the best. But Legends takes all the crash mode from 3, Revenge, on PSP, and it's fun and you could play it on the go back in the day, which is cool. Mentioning that, I saw there was Horizon Chase 2, which it looks like they changed the graphics to be more modern from Pixel. So I was like, it's interesting. Hopefully it's
we got Tomb Raider remaster or remake or whatever the crap it is, 1, 2, 3.
Well, and that was the other one that I was surprised that they did.
Yeah, same.
And toggle the graphics on and off. The original Tomb Raider is one that I absolutely played a hell lot of.
Me too.
Never really played 2 or 3 outside of demos on demo discs, which is a future episode for Video Game Bullshit. But I hadn't played it 2 or 3 much. But in this day and age of the infinite backlog, I probably won't have enough time to get to 2 or 3. If I get it, and play number 1, that would be a miracle. But I did love the original Tomb Raider, and maybe with the new coat of paint, maybe it'll be, awesome. It's just hopefully they update the tank controls a little.
Yeah, hopefully they update the tank controls and it's really sluggish. Hopefully it's modern mechanics, but the same game.
Exactly. I hope so, because then imagine that like a smooth controlled Tomb Raider would be ridiculous. I'm thinking that they're probably just going to keep it intact and they threw a coat of paint over it, but you never know.
We'll see.
The mega announcement, we got Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remaster.
Yeah, dude.
Now I have a guilty conscience because I played the original N64 Paper Mario back in the day. Had it. Never played Thousand Year Door.
Well, you haven't played the best Paper Mario then.
I know. And I actually, ironically, I have it. I just never played it.
Dude, it's incredible. And I'd say, find some time to play it, but you can't find time out of nowhere. Hopefully it's a 1-to-1 remake because, you'll have an excuse to play it now.
Yeah. Because I didn't really play that one. I did like Super Paper Mario on the Wii. That was fun.
That one was fun too.
I mean, it's not a traditional Paper Mario. It's just I like the trend doing the 2D to 3D and more action-based gameplay. It was cool. And then all the gimmicks after that, it's been hit or miss.
I wasn't a fan of Origami King. I hate the boss fights. I hate it.
They were
Color
just
Splash was okay. Sticker Star I liked.
Sticker Star was okay. That was okay. A little too gimmicky for me because it's too random with the power-ups. But yeah, to me, it's like I really was a big fan of the Mario and Luigi saga versus the Paper saga. So I moved over to those and played those games on Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS and 3DS later. I didn't play the last couple 3DS ones.
But here's where I'm hopeful. This is it only furthers my feeling now that they've actually said that they're going to re-release Thousand Year Door. I'm sure you know that the Super Mario RPG got a sequel over in Japan called Super Mario RPG 2, 3. The Paper Mario over there is actually Super Mario RPG, but it's not a true sequel.
Nope.
What I'm hoping is that it actually gets a true sequel now that they're bringing on this new generation.
Maybe.
And it actually they'll do something. Once this one will be successful, it's going to sell like gangbusters.
In this world.
Continue
the story in this world.
And obviously, Square Enix has an appetite for it because they're collaborating on this one. Why wouldn't they want to sell some more? You know what I mean? And on the same vein, there's been all these iterations of Paper Mario, and we just mentioned all the different ones, and people like gimmicks and they don't like gimmicks here or whatever in certain Paper Marios. But Thousand Year Door is people's favorite for a reason. And what I'm hoping is that this is an indication that they're, again, bringing a game to a current generation. And once it's successful, then this one will have a direct sequel.
Fingers are crossed, man.
Yeah.
Now, I want to know if you're tracking probably the coolest release that I've seen in the last 2 weeks for Nintendo Switch. It was not in the Direct, and I feel like it's even cooler than anything that was announced in the Direct.
Boy, I don't know.
Game Center CX 1 and 2.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
yes. Yeah, but it's in Japan, though. It's in Japan.
Japan only.
Is there going to be an English? Is there English?
I mean...
Oh, I hope so.
I hope. And the thing is Indie Zero's still working with it.
Oh gosh.
Dude.
Yeah, inject that straight into my veins, please. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah, so Jeff and I are huge Game Center CX fans. Come to find, I'm a huge fan, but come to find out Jeff's even multiply it by 5. He's that big a fan of that show.
Love it.
But I love it. I love the premise. I love the comedy. I love the fact that this middle-aged guy who's terrible at video games is trying to show the audience the endings of these games to get promoted or demoted. Hilarious. The premise is so great. And it shows off all these retro games.
So I got this twofold hope. Number one, I reached out because I have a company that does publishes physicals.
Yeah,
so I reached out.
Oh
and
my
asked
gosh, dude.
Because I got to know.
Please.
And if anybody else releases it, cool. But I mean, we would do it. But the other thing is, are you aware that Takeishi's Castle has a brand new version re-released, aka Most Extreme Elimination Challenge from back in the day?
Yeah.
There is a 2023 version on Netflix right now that's pretty damn popular.
Did not know.
So they're taking 30, 40 years later, they're doing a whole new series with Takaishi Miyake, all that stuff.
Okay.
And it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if I've been watching it, it's awesome. It's fully subtitled. I'm hoping that allows Game Center CX to be brought over.
Oh, dude.
And if it does, then maybe we get an English version of the game. My thing is, they never localized the second one outside of fan localization. Which somebody
who did that? Who made a physical copy of Game Center CX2?
Yeah. And was it Tomato Team that did the same guys that did Mother 3 that did the translation?
I don't know. I don't remember.
But either way, though, there is a community that did translate that entire game to English, and then Tristan might have done a physical release with a Nintendo Age member. That pretty damn cool.
I took the Japanese manual and one for one translated it from Japanese to English. Well, I hired someone on Fiverr to translate it for me, but I did all the Photoshop work and made it look really nice. So
well,
I mean,
and then
manual.
if any people should be doing this damn physical, it is Premium Edition games.
Oh, it better be us. It better be the most passionate. I will fight somebody if they tell me that they're bigger fans of that show than us. There's no way that limited edition I can't even think of their name right now. I'm so upset. Those guys, they are not bigger fans than us.
The thing is that like there's a whole fan community doing fan translations of all the episodes online. To this day, they're still trickling out episodes, which is awesome. I actually did the first 100 episodes with DVD title cards and everything for for myself. We didn't sell any. I just did it for myself so I could put it on my own Plex server. So I have it on my own Plex server. I could watch every single episode of Game Center CX, and I have been watching them from the beginning. I watch them a little bit at a time. Like on Sundays, I'll watch an episode sometimes. It's been years that I've been doing the initiative. I just watch it. It's like my church. It's my fun time. I like to enjoy.
So many funny moments in the show, man.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So to me, over the last 2 weeks, that was probably the biggest announcement / release that I saw because it is just so freaking cool. Excited. I definitely reached out, but I mean, I don't expect a response because it's Namco Bandai and they have their own publishing arm. There's no reason why they should work with us, but I hope they tell me it is being translated and then we can be happy.
Oh, I will be so happy. I will be so happy.
And
I was actually glad to hear that they left the third one off because we can just forget about that one.
It wasn't that good. But the other thing that was interesting from the Direct, going back to the Nintendo Direct, is that they're doing the second Luigi's Mansion in HD, which means they're doing ports of 3DS games is the important piece. So what 3DS games, Tristan, would you like to see preserved on Switch? That's the real question. And we can make that an episode title later when we research, if you can't think of any off the top of your head.
No, I can think of one off the top of my head, but it actually got a release pretty recently, and I feel like it was a step back in the franchise. Final Fantasy Theatrhythm. Yeah, Final Bar Line or whatever the crap it was called is the latest one, but Curtain Call is far superior.
Okay.
Yeah, and I wish that one would get a port.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the ones that I would like to see ported, though, out of anything, Nintendo IP, I want to see Ocarina, the 3DS version, ported over. So we have a legit HD porting of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, of course. Even though I'm not a huge fan of Majora's Mask, I would love to see that game getting preserved over on Switch.
I'd also like to see Project Cross Zone 1 and 2, a collection.
Those are fun. Those are fun as hell. I love the fan service of it.
It's such a fan service.
Dante was probably my favorite character from the first one. I never played the second one, but
freaking they brought in Sekata Sanshiro for the second one. Like,
I mean, don't play the Saturn or die. Like it's
that's right.
He will kick your ass if you don't play Sega Saturn.
Damn straight. You will ride a missile into your house.
Heck yeah. It's hilarious. All right, so what else is in the news? So I had alluded to something from Tristan that he wasn't aware of. And he mentioned that there are some developers that we work with that are up in arms about something, and he didn't quite catch what it was. So it is Steam and Unity policy updates that have come out that is screwing over every indie developer out there. And this isn't a good thing. This is a horrible thing that will change the landscape of independent game development going forward.
Boy.
So what they are saying is that they're going to charge for every single copy produced.
That's what they were talking about.
And so where I'm really worried is some of my buddies that I know now that are friends, like the guy Artix, who does Adventure Quest, that's a free to play. They're going to charge them per download, even though that's not
how does that work?
It doesn't. They are getting charged millions of dollars. The other thing is that I'm tracking is that online there are ways to spoof downloads to the point where you could do billions and billions of spoof downloads.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, they'd be charged billions of dollars if the spoof download works. So what it's going to do is it's changing the way that developers are going to have to budget while using Unity. So it affects Steam. It affects Steam. It affects a lot of stuff. It affects independent game development as a whole.
And like we were saying, I mean, we're privy to some like back chatter, some like behind the scenes some chatter about this, and yeah, they're upset. Of course they're upset.
Of course they are. Like, they have every right to be pissed off that a company is going to do this, because it's more like you get the carrot on the stick. You learn how to program in this certain way that has a user base that's already pre-installed, and now you're like, okay, well, now that we have you, now we're going to charge you per download this amount. So if it's $1 per, it's insane.
It would have to be a percentage. It would have to be.
I don't know.
But even then, that's not really fair.
But it's ridiculous. It's absolutely predatory. And I feel for every single independent game developer that has, tried to establish something truly meaningful in a game landscape, and now it's to change and start from the ground up. It is ridiculous. Luckily, some of the developers that we know have alternate means to program, but some it's going to be challenging. And just imagine, Tristan, imagine if Adobe did something predatory like that, where everything that we had published, they're going to then charge for using their program.
Yeah.
And they're gonna, watermark and all that stuff. And so, like, imagine having to learn a whole new program with buttonology and everything.
Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy there. That would be awful.
Exactly. And so, there's a lot of people giving thanks to NES Maker and Joe Granado for having, the developers in mind when they do the releases for their games. And allowing them to use anything that's been created in NES Maker to publish without having to license it from them, which is nice. It's a very good gesture from that company. And I saw a lot of, that's how I kind of learned about it, was from that. And I saw that, and I'm like, I started to peel back. And then I went to some of our chats that we're in. I'm like, oh man, this is really, really bad. Really bad. And then I saw Arctic's post online, and I was like, dude, it could be catastrophic for some businesses. Some companies are going to not survive or have trouble like pivoting how they do it. It's like a previous free service will not be free anymore because they have to increase a price right there, which could kill a user base and everything. So, dude, it's bad.
Yep.
Speaking of bad, let's talk about new physical release for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're doing a second release physical, Tristan.
Gotcha.
What do you think about that?
Gotcha.
Well,
whoa, we got your money? Gotcha.
Well, to me, and we've been thinking about this too, because there's certain games where we sign them as a company early and we want to get it out there. But then we want things to be complete on cart. So, like, how do you do that in a non-predatory way in order to highlight the game?
It never feels good, does it? It never feels good. But it's about choice. You're not making the people buy it on the one hand. No one has to buy it. But on the second hand, those people who were early adopters, they're going to feel spurned by it.
Yeah.
So.
And there's no way to do it and be able to release it physically for it to not lose money and take care of them.
No.
So, and I mean, and the thing is, from my perspective, I didn't think that they were done with the DLC yet. Like, I thought that they were talking about doing some new levels in the future.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So what is this, like, going to be the second of 3 releases?
It might be the first ever.
Holy crap.
Like, not the first ever.
You're going to do a yearly release like Madden? Like, you're going to have like Turtles
No,
Collection 23.
like what was it? Power Rangers. The Power Rangers game I think had 3 releases or
Oh,
something.
that's gross.
Yeah, and that game I didn't even play. I wasn't
Yeah.
interested in playing the Power Rangers game. But
Well, I guess you could equate it to like Street Fighter 4. You've got vanilla, you've got super, and then you've got ultra, right?
yeah. I mean, the other thing is that like from my perspective, I got the Turtles game. I got it on one of the European websites because they had a cool bonus. I think it was a soundtrack with it or something. But from my perspective, I'm like, I don't care. I'll have the downloaded stuff. And here's my thing. So early adopters, yes, they might feel spurned, but they can play it, and they can play the complete edition.
Yeah.
I, as a long-time video game collector, I don't mind having to go and collect stuff. So I'm not going to buy it right now, the new one. So this is just my stance. If a company does a re-release of an Ultimate Edition, I'm just gonna wait. I get to play the game. I have it physically. I think it's cool. It's the first release because there's interesting things from a collector perspective having the first edition and then having the most complete edition. I like both. So my thing is that I am not collecting every single game right now, and I paused because I moved to an island where I don't have as much storage. So later on, I'm going to do the switch like I did the NES and the Super Nintendo and collect stuff. And I'll get stuff on the second market, conventions, game stores. I'll support companies. And I'll get it later. Notice I didn't really say eBay because I don't go on eBay too much unless it's exclusive to eBay. But that's the thing, though. So I don't mind having to go back and collect them later. So to me, it's like, even if at premium we had the opportunity, because we got a couple games that are coming out, like we're going to release like a first edition. And if people really want it, we could do an ultimate edition of stuff. Like that's my mentality with it, though, is you get the first release and then you can get the ultimate last release. And then it's the same thing with those that collect collector's editions and those that don't. And people have like, lectured us that we do collector's editions only essentially. And they're like, oh, do a base vanilla edition. It's like, we're like, yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe if the right game presents itself, we'll do it in the future. But like, I like making cool stuff. Tristan likes making cool stuff. Like, let us make cool stuff.
This is a reminder.
Oh, that's a reminder, Tristan.
Sorry about that.
What's the reminder of? It says, keep recording. No.
Yeah, something like that.
No, but like that's my perspective on it is like we would love to always offer complete on cart, but like it seems like only the smaller companies are upheld to that standard because the big AAA companies, they don't. They just have the DLC that comes out later. We got lucky with Breath of the Wild where Nintendo actually released the full version in Japan only. Just saying. So it's like every big company gets a pass. Then why did the small companies not get a pass too? That's the other thing.
True.
So I look at that with that lens too, is like my goal with what we do is to support independent game developers. So is it supporting them more that I wait for 2-3 years for the DLC to come out and then release their game? Or does it support the game developer if we release it immediately with the game and then do a second release where they get supported twice? To me, that better supports the game developer. Get them, more support, gets the game more exposure and more sales for them. Because I mean, our company, we take care of our developers as much as we possibly can, so we don't go in bankrupt or something. But but we definitely support them. So that's another lens from the business side, non-collector side, where it's like we probably could. We haven't even done anything like that yet, but in the future, when things present themselves, we might be like, well, it's also why we're not a limited company, but we'll release a second printing if people want it. Like it supports the developer more. Like, I mean, we don't want to create something artificially scarce. Like it's people want it, we'll do it. If people don't want it, we will, retire the game release and move on to another game.
You're absolutely right. There could be a situation in the future where something, say like Raji has DLC. We've gone through our original stock, and then like the company Nodding Heads Games comes and like reaches out to us and says, hey, we want to release more of these, but with the DLC on cart. What are we going to say? No.
The perfect example is Super Dungeon Maker, which is the Legend of Zelda maker that we're doing.
Yeah.
And the game is still in a like free mode with its original release.
Mhm.
And we've been talking with the developers, and they got a substantial DLC coming out, but they're planning on stuff for years. So
Yeah.
now we had the
Mhm.
opportunity to launch when they launched, so we did, but like, are we going to hold on to pre-orders for years? No. So
No, yeah.
it's
We
like, what do
can't
we
we
do?
can't do that.
What do we do? So
We aren't analog.
yeah, so we're gonna
I'm
wait
just
for
kidding.
this first initial release with the big patch and everything, and then after that, like, I get the physical out to customers. They don't need to be waiting years. But if you go online and see, the game is on Switch right now, is I know they're planning on some updates. So we don't want to have any bugs in it, but we also can't wait for all of the projected DLC to come out. So
No.
that is the perfect example.
Yep.
But like, we released that and made that very clear too. And I think if you're
Yeah.
very clear with it too, with people, then the collectors will know. Those that really, really care about preserving the physical portion, they'll wait if they want to. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And you said exactly the right thing. If we as a company do our due diligence and our heart's in the right place, and we do right by our customers, and that's our intent, then there's really no complaints that can be had. I know there's going to be trolls, there's going to be people, naysayers everywhere, that it's inevitable, but you can't please everybody. So
When you have
all you
an
can do is just,
internet, Tristan, when you have an
yeah,
internet,
I
everybody
know, yeah.
is allowed to, voice their opinion.
Yeah.
And it's cool. And the thing is that doing this as long as I have, including the books, like, I've
Yeah.
been criticized on every single piece.
Oh,
Here's the thing,
oh,
though.
same, buddy.
And here's the thing, though, is that I take them, I never respond, but
Mhm.
some of that stuff, like, I will update some stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I remember back in the day, when I was doing my Culture Chronicles, which I have a couple years that were done, and when I posted a preview of one of the covers, one response was like, "Looks like shit," and I was just like, I don't think they expected me to read it or something, but then I go, "Well, what looks like shit about it?" And when I said that, they actually go, "Oh, you're actually the author. Oh, okay. Well," and then they proceeded to explain how the text was hard to read on the cover because of the way. And I'm
Mm.
like, "That's all you needed to say. I will outline it." And then the cover looks freaking amazing. And I was like, "Thank you for your feedback. Just next time, please do it constructively, because I can literally fix if there's a simple thing like
Yeah.
that I didn't even notice because I thought the art just looked badass and I was going crazy with it." Because
Mhm.
the second issue that I did, I replicated the original EGM release of Sega versus Turbo. I did Nintendo versus Sega, and in that year, and so it's a really cool inspiration. But like, and when you see the cover now, you'll see, oh, there's actually highlights, and that's why all the text pops out, is because of some guy who was initially coming off trollish, but in
Yeah.
reality, I just got clarification. So I mean, I try to take, all criticism with a, okay, they're just being very short because it's the internet. Let me see if there's anything that we're missing that maybe we can do better.
Yeah.
um Now, are we going to change the holistic portion of a company based off of a comment? No, but you never know, because like, we're always
Mhm.
looking to raise the bar. I mean, heck, Tristan's going to be, educating himself for and raising the bar significantly. It's going to be awesome.
That's the
um
hope.
but yeah, so that's my thought, though, on Ninja Turtles. And it's a thing. If it supports the developer more, I'm cool with it. It's the Streets of Rage 4 thing. We try to avoid it.
I'm at peace with it. I'm at peace with it.
But yeah. The only other thing with news, and I don't know if you caught this one, but are you tracking that AtariAge was bought by Atari?
Oh yeah, dude, I totally forgot about that. Yes, I am tracking that. Our mutual
I
friend John Hardy was actually talking about that. He obviously, as the owner of one of the owners of the National Video Game Museum, he's
Yeah.
got opinions about it. I'm not going to speak for him, but yeah, that's a huge thing.
So what are your thoughts about Atari buying, not necessarily Atari Age as a forum, but the worldwide foremost preserver of brand new Atari indie developed games?
I know.
Because
Well,
it's going to change.
I know it's going to change. And hey, Nintendo Age, the former Nintendo Age member, how did that play out?
Well, all of the promises that were made from Go Collect when they bought Nintendo Age, they said they wouldn't kill anything. It died almost within a month, and it was like gone. All Nintendo Age died. The whole history of everything. From my perspective, anything that is, I would say, like iffy when it comes to IP infringement will be gone. So when you have
absolutely
your Sonic and your Marios and stuff like that, that'll never come around again, because I remember they did a Mario release that was later pulled, the Needle Mouse or whatever it was, the Sonic version, which I still haven't gotten. I need a copy. Anything else like that wouldn't be able to come out, including anything that's not licensed that is a remake, remaster, any of that, because like there's a lot of awesome homebrews that the developers do on AtariAge where they'll take a game like Pac-Man and then make it awesome.
Yeah.
But they don't have the license from Namco.
Exactly. And
so now that Atari owns it, there is a lens on it.
Yes, exactly. So not that AtariAge wasn't legitimate before, but they're owned by Atari now. That is some legitimacy. So and some legitimacy that they can't afford to be sued by, whatever IP holders there are.
And I have a challenge for you, Tristan. From what I'm tracking, at Portland Retro Gaming Expo, they're going to have a big presence there with a lot of homebrews.
Oh, boy.
I would like you to do a little research. Doesn't have to be recorded. Do a little research and chat with them and see what their thoughts are and get some see. Are they're liquidating all their old stock?
Yeah.
Or are they there, because I bet that they're going to spin it to be hopeful, but it'll be interesting to hear, because I know you're going to Portland and to rep the PE fun, and should be an interesting talk with them, because I don't know, man. They had a big setup last time, and so I don't know. Like it's sad because it will change. It won't be the same. No matter what, it won't be the same. I hope it doesn't go the way of the Nintendo Age, though. I hope they keep it alive. Seems like the original owner's still involved currently, but who knows how long that'll last, because we don't know why Atari actually bought it. You know what I mean? Like we know why Embracer Group bought Limited Run, and it was for their engine, the porting engine that they have, and not necessarily Limited Run's big.
Yeah, it was MVG's engine.
Yes, Modern Vintage Gamers engine that he created is why Embracer bought Limited Run, which means Limited Run could go the way of the crow with one misstep, and they've had a few that we've seen, including Elon Musk's doing some stuff which is insane to even saying the same thing.
I know. Like, what the heck?
But all it takes is some bad publicity. They could be like, all right, we just wanted it for MVG's thing, which I don't even know if they're aware that is some other proprietary thing that they signed with another person. But we're just going to use it for that, so we can port our giant, vast library of intellectual properties over. And now that Limited Run is no longer a viable label, we're going to just publish it with any of the other multitude of companies or our own company or whatever. It's pretty wild when you think about it. And we still have that loose affiliation with Mighty Fight Federation because the developers are the ones that are working on Gimmick for Embracer and stuff like that. So, so cool. We're a little affiliated, but it's just before the merger. But it's the same thing. So hopefully Atari doesn't do anything weird with AtariAge.
Yeah, let's hope the AtariAge does not go the way of the Atari speaker hat or the Atari hotels.
And
or casinos.
So I mean, we're already super not interested in the Atari 2600 Plus.
No,
it makes sense and the thing is maybe Atari just bought AtariAge because there's brand new cartridges being produced and they want to release them for the Atari 2600 Plus. Maybe that's what they wanted to do, and maybe they're going to get the rights to all the IP. But I feel like even if that's the case, which would be the best case, by the way, it is it's going to change because some of those IPs aren't going to be able to be met, and Atari would get legal action against them if they continue to release them without knowledge. AtariAge was kind of under the radar.
Absolutely right.
Crazy.
And you said it. There's a lens on them now.
Man. So, I think that's it for the normal gaming news. We haven't really talked premium news.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. So, first of all, the NES game we alluded to, the last recording, is an inspiration, a game that was inspired by the classic Sega Dreamcast and later ported Rez. So essentially, the game is called Oratorio, and like John V. Orebody Inc., but John, he has created something that's never been done on the NES at this type of capacity. And it is literally Rez on the NES. Like, it is a music-based shooter.
Yeah.
On the like, what the heck, Tristan? What are your
Dude,
thoughts
and
on
I'll be the first to tell you that I had a hard time wrapping my head around it. Even though like I saw some clips and stuff, but dude, whenever I picked up that controller and started playing that game, I was instantly on board. It's so much fun. And like the trailer is
doesn't
great.
do it justice.
No,
the trailer doesn't do it justice. Like, it is, you have to play it to love it. You have to play it to enjoy it. And our silver edition sold out with the first wave. Hint. By the time this recording comes out and everything, second wave of silvers with week 3 of Nestember is going to be awesome, with some other silvers too. On Monday should be freaking crazy, by the way. But dude, like, that game is so good. And it is so interesting to see, like, people don't really understand that stuff like that wasn't done. Like, we had 2 games that were similar. You had 3D World Runner on the NES and Space Harrier on the Famicom for the and that were released, that did a 3D projection like that, like 3D aspect with running in that type of form. Like, this one is like beat-based, synthetic, like, is awesome. Like, this might be one of the best aftermarket games that's been released. Like, from a
it's one of the best I've played in a long time.
It's because it's doing something that's never been done before. Like, it is wild. And you're working and finishing up the manual for it, which is wild. And the thing is, we get to work with the developers, and it's the same guy that did Orabody, which is the Mega Man style game that we have out. It's like, he just did this, and he worked on it in the NES Maker Backbone piece, which shows me, like, the initial concerns from the Nintendo homebrew community, where they were like throwing shade on NES Maker. We're gonna have all these type of clone games. That
no, it's now like, it's the standard. It's the gold standard.
And it's been like, they've always used modules to make NES homebrew, but like, you have to know programming to make the most out of NES Maker anyways. And now they're taking it to the next level. And this game really shows where, like, Nintendo can go and what it's capable of. And he's even doing something different than any of the more modern homebrews, to where he's doing something with bank switches and boards and memory mappers that we got to be very careful for when we release the physical, because it has to be released a certain way. And ironically, the NES Maker community standard, we couldn't even go with them if we wanted to. Not that we do, but we couldn't, because the way that they do it will erase the game. It's like, it is wild. Like, from a production standpoint, like, we just got to be very careful. I'm going to be doing a call with John just to make sure I have exactly what we need. And I'm going to, like, once I actually get the quotes back, making sure that the producer is 100% aware of it, because it's such a unique one, dude. So the other bit of premium news, Eagle Island and Love 3.
What are those, Jeff?
Are available. They're available now. They have finally come in, which means those of you that have pre-ordered Eagle Island and Love 3 that have been waiting, they have completed production and will be arriving soon. They should have already arrived, but they'll be arriving soon at a warehouse to begin shipping. Should be like next week, in the next week or two.
I can't wait, man.
And there's been a gold thing sitting right here over my shoulder.
Yeah, what's that shiny thing over your shoulder, Jeff?
Like, holy cow, dude! Check out Love 3. box.
That's
And
absolutely gorgeous.
And the thing is, you see this? It's all shiny.
Wow.
What we did differently with the processing on this box that we haven't done, this is actually a gold box. The box is gold. It's not white. It's not pretty gold. This is a gold box. It means everything has shine to it. The reds, everything is gold. Now, if those of you that don't know, Love 3 is a pixel perfect platformer with some amazing techno music. It's awesome. And it's done by one of the developers who worked on Undertale and Deltarune. So, really, really cool.
Yeah,
maybe just Deltarune, but still.
If Redwood is not happy with that, I don't know what you'd be happy with. He's going to be so ecstatic.
Dude. And so the thing is we always mention, like, we do like mini collector's editions. This is the standard NES case release. This is inside of here, which has a dust sleeve that fits in like it's almost like a mini box, even though this is a
gorgeous.
Like, that's what we do here. And then on top of it, you know, we have our amazing retro edition, which we've within the last few series begun embossing. So these spikes here are 3D. The character is 3D, and of course there's some foil right here.
Love our foil
box as well, and like a little bit of a heart, a little love.
That's I hadn't seen that yet. Oh, that looks so good. That looks so good.
Like somebody might have done a little bit of design work on this.
Yeah, somebody did.
And what I like about this too, which is the little touches, is the subtle white border around it. Just helps.
I love that.
It's not standard red. So good.
Man, that looks good.
So good. And then this is our pixel platformer. And then we also have Eagle Island Twist.
Oh, baby. Oh, my gosh. I love that game.
And this is, you know, I consider it more of a Metroidvania, but really it's a level-based, procedurally generated platformer, pixel platformer. And there's 2 different modes for it, which is awesome because there's a procedurally generated main mode. And then you have Eagle Island Twist, which has, you know, a bunch of carefully crafted levels.
Which are incredible and have homages to all sorts of other games and IPs. And
game is a masterpiece.
So good. Game
is a masterpiece. And like this really is the main protagonist from part 1, and then this is the Twist main protagonist with their own owls.
Quill and Thea.
Again, you know, this is the retail, and then this is the standard. And this Soar into Adventure uses a certain aesthetic, but like Retroware used that in their marketing back in the day. So when I said we're working with Retroware, like, and then Secret of Mana inspired.
Oh gosh, that looks good.
Retro box, like so good.
Wow.
Like it looks so good. And the embossing, it just pops out, just the entire art pops out subtly. So it just has like a little bit of a little protrusion out there. Now, the other piece is these boys, both of them, they're thick. They are packed to the gill.
Thick boys.
Because not only do we have soundtracks inside, but we also have awesome guides and art books inside of these, and they look so freaking good. That is the Tristan Ibarra, the Art of Ibarra, freaking amazing mastery. The self-taught mastery.
You have no idea how much I want to get those in my hands. Like, to see the fruits of your labor in your hands, and Jeff knows this more than I do, there's nothing like it. I mean, we're so passionate about it, and we love sharing it with other people, but come on. I mean, let's not pretend like we don't like to see what we made.
Well, and I told Tristan I haven't opened them yet, and we can on a video, and so you can see everything. But you wanted to wait, so far at least, you've wanted to wait till you get it in hand.
Wait.
But
I'm gonna wait.
I can open them. Like I would absolutely do that. Because I mean, because my thing is that I got the original ones right off the production line. I like to keep them sealed, and then I'll open up one. Well, I have the standard the standard version separately. So yeah, dude. It is
my heart, man.
Awesome time.
My heart.
It's an awesome time. I love it. It's so cool. It's so cool being able to.
It really makes me feel good about my decision. Like it just genuinely makes me so happy doing this stuff.
And like we get to make stuff for video games preserved.
No, like what a dream come true.
Like it's so wild, and like having the opportunity is like there's no way that I was going to let it slip by. Like it's so fulfilling, so awesome.
And I can't thank you enough, man. I seriously can't for bringing me on. Like I'm very thankful to you for this opportunity. I mean,
well, dude, like, and you go above
amazing.
It's been awesome, and like no better person to have co-host bullshit with me too, because just go on. Or like this right here now, we're finally.
Yeah.
This is not premium. These are premium, and we got now 14 physically
incredible.
Like
so
some
cool,
of these are some of my favorites released on the Switch of all time, and then other ones are like just my favorites of those genres. Like we have been able to be absolutely thrilled to be able to preserve, and I love this little case. It's so
dude,
cool.
It's so nice, man. It's sitting next to all my premium edition games, of course.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, how many are in here? How many slots are in here, Tristan? A lot.
16 times 4.
There's 4 times 16.
Yeah.
We're almost full of 16. There was a little hole that you might have saw on there for the 13th release. Maybe we'll talk about it the next time we record. Hints. But no, it's so fun. So fun doing it. And we haven't moved over and gotten any PlayStation in hand yet, but that's going to create a whole nother sector of collections, because we got now, outside of books, we have Switch releases with 14 now, and then we have NES releases. And in reality, with the NES releases, like that goes back to when I was doing books too. I've done a bunch of homebrew stuff, indie games. But these ones for premium, we've only got one in hand, and the other one is in production right now.
Oh, guys, we've got some news to tell you. We're gonna start making games for the Funtech Super A-Can now. No, I'm just
kidding. Yeah. The Funtech Super A-Can.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, the only thing that worries us is the same thing that's worrying some of the community with the Unity shenanigans, is that I just hope that the Unity stuff doesn't change and much spirits, because we are helping out our developers, and if they can't make the games, that'd just be sad.
I know,
dude. Craziness, man. Craziness.
Yeah, it's not good.
So, shall we talk about the game of the episode?
Mjolnir. No, that's Thor's hammer. Oh gosh, what's it called?
Skjoldur story. Skjoldur. I still can't say it. It's great. It is a classic, dude. So I will do what I say is lay the wallpaper for you. I will read it off of Steam itself. A Zelda-like game where all you get is a shield. In this lighthearted pastoral adventure, explore and fight your way through a vast and whimsical world with nothing but a magical shield at your side. Discover, unlock, and conquer dungeons in any order using power stones you collect along your travels before confronting a final source of evil. So essentially in the game, it's Legend of Zelda, obviously, style. Non-linear overworld where you can kind of collect based on puzzles on the overworld, collect these little jewels with lightning bolts on them to unlock dungeons. You only have a shield, but it's kind of not really a shield because you can swipe with it. So it's like a little stubby sword shield. And then the shield will absorb enemy bullets, projectiles, or whatever they throw at you. Or if you attack them and kill them, you'll absorb their power as well. So if you have like a slime, the slime will hit you. If you stop moving and it blocks, you get the slime power to shoot a projectile of slime. Or if you kill it by hitting it a couple times, you also get the slime. Now, my personal opinion, I do not like the controls, do not like the mechanic, because I did not get used to it. Because I like to go through Zelda and kind of carve my way through enemies and stuff. In this game, if you go fast, you will take damage. You have to go at it slower. You have to project. And if you die, say you're at the far end of the map and you die, you go all the way back to the beginning. You don't lose anything, but it resets all the enemies. And so then you got to go back and trudge your way back through.
As or if you hit reset.
Or if you save and quit. So for example, I got to one of the dungeons, I saved and quit, and it started me back in the middle on the overworld, and I don't know where I was at the dungeon.
That is bad game design right there, I think.
So like I want to love it. I want to like it. I'm tracking. I haven't gotten to it, but I'm tracking. If I get through a dungeon, there's a boss battle at the end that's themed off of many of the enemies in said dungeons. There are certain dungeons with 3 symbols, and there's certain dungeons with 4 symbols, and the 3 ones are a little easier than the 4 dungeons. And there's a lot of cool puzzles. The puzzles themselves were pretty fun. They went from basic to getting a little more advanced as I played. There are unlockable attributes as you go through. So there's like a little shed that I found at the very beginning of the overworld, and I unlocked a new heart in there. There was a little symbol which will allow you to do a teleport, which I'm not sure if that's a single-use teleport or if it just opens the teleport permanently, which I hope is the latter. And there's one that allows you to do a full swipe with your shield, which then I hope makes it a little better from an attack perspective, but it requires, I think, 25 coins, and you get the coins in 1 out of every like 10 to 20 screens. You'll maybe get a coin, so it'll take me forever to get enough coins for that, I feel. But that's kind of my perspective just with the gameplay. I will stop and let you talk a little though, Tristan.
I was a slacker this time. I didn't play it. I didn't play it. I didn't get around to it. Yeah, it wasn't on purpose.
So you get an F on your bullshit homework because
I do. I absolutely do.
No, but that is how video game bullshit goes. Sometimes we don't have the time to do it. And so I played it, and as I said though, I played it like that first day that we had done it for a couple hours, and then I went back to try playing it again this weekend before we recorded, and I just was like, I don't even feel like going and hunting back.
I'd like to say I didn't have an opportunity to play it, but that wouldn't be true because I play tested a whole bunch of games for Premium Edition. I just forgot to do the other one, so that's on me.
It is all good though. And the stuff that we were testing for Premium, a lot of it is stuff that is cool, but would be hard to sell at retail because they're very niche. So that's one thing as you think about it. Like this game right here has Zelda in it. It would actually sell. Like it would sell because it's Legend of Zelda style game. However, there's some stuff in there that angers me as a gamer, and I'm like, man, I just couldn't. I'm not a fan. And so it'll be a very short review today because like I just didn't connect with it like I wanted to. I wanted more out of it. The graphics, the gameplay reminds me more of Link's Awakening on the original Game Boy than Super Nintendo Link to the Past. So it's more of the Link's Awakening Game Boy style. And then the other thing is the pause for the shield. So in Zelda, you're used to hitting a shield button, you hold up the shield. Shield only works if you stop moving. So you can't like run at the guy and hold the shield.
You can't move.
You have to like time it because like the enemies would be moving and shoot, and then they'll be moving and then they'll shoot one way and they'll move. So you gotta like try to find it to get it. But then when you get over to them, you have to like pause and stop to be able to time it right. And I hate that. I do not like that at all.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that because and I can kind of even though I don't have anything to say about this game, but like to me that's another piece of bad game design. Because when you're talking about a game like Zelda or you're playing a Metroidvania, there's such an established genre of game that most players, if they pick up and play the game, they know how to play it. But if you do something like that, that's really jarring and distracting, then is it you trying to be different or is it bad game design? To me, it's bad game design if it detracts from the game itself. I was playing
because like I can't even, I have to say it, like, it's just like
Yeah.
going after enemies and then having to like time it to where they're going to shoot a projectile and then stop and then have the shield pop up at the same time. It's not fun.
No.
It's just not fun.
And it could have been done in a different way.
You could have just held a button.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Held the button to block.
Dude, like, right before this podcast, I was over at a buddy of mine's house, and I was playing this Metroidvania. I wish I could remember the name of it, but it was on Switch. And they did something really egregious to me. So all 4 face buttons, there was a weak punch, a strong punch, a weak kick, and a strong kick. Those were the 4 face buttons. And to jump, you had to use a shoulder button. And it wasn't reconfigurable.
At least you didn't have to shake it to jump. Like on
that'd be bad.
And you couldn't reconfigure it. You can't reconfigure the
You
button.
cannot reconfigure it. Yeah, that to me is a sin.
You can reconfigure it on Switch though, because you can go remap the buttons in the main menu per game.
Oh, so sure. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a
pain in the ass to do though.
Sure.
It's not easy to do. But that still doesn't change that that's bad game design. And that's what this game is. Skjoldur story has a few. If they changed that one simple thing, I feel like I would have played it to beat it. That one simple thing. If the game play element. Now, I read a few reviews online, and people seem to love it because they eventually learned it. As we mentioned, I don't have the time to dedicate to learn it. I have to get past that piece. Because, I mean, another game that was a perfect example of this was Hollow Knight. I played the original version of Hollow Knight, kicked my butt, got disheartened, stopped playing it. Eventually, got my butt back together because everybody was talking about it. So great, went back and figured it out. And one of the best Metroidvanias I've played, one of my top games on Switch. But I had to get over that hump. There's a hump with this game, but I don't feel like it's going to still make the game fun. And that's the unfortunate part, is that the game just wasn't fun.
It's like you making a concession in order to make a game playable. That shouldn't be the case.
So from a outside perspective, the game looks like it would have been like an A title.
Yeah.
And then you start playing, it's like a B title. The fact that it's not fun though, I'm gonna give it a D. I'm gonna give it a D plus. From a graphics and everything else, music, everything else was really good. That's why it's not an F. Why it's not an F. But it's not a C. It's not C realm. It is a D. It is a D title for me, unfortunately. Skjoldur story, just wouldn't recommend it. So fortunately, Tristan, you may have been able to convince me otherwise if you had played it, but fortunately you actually dodged a bullet on this one.
It sounds like I would have been pretty frustrated with that too. I mean, if it's that jarring, there's no way I would have missed it.
It is, man. And so, shall we go to the roulette?
Yeah.
To go to the roulette wheel. This time, though, you do need to play it. Though.
Yeah, I will. I've got no excuse.
Right. Deck roulette, and we will go to locally. And actually, are we going budget or non-budget this time?
Honestly, I'm always gonna pick non-budget. Always.
Okay. I got no problem with that. And we will go kaboom. And this is the game that popped up. It is called Miss Myastere. 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 Ruins of Desnif. And it says that it takes about 1 hour to beat the main story, according to how long to beat, because there's a little app thing that I have on here. Myastere. 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 Ruins of Desnif.
Oh, wow. We keep getting all these like really hard to pronounce.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, and that could be why, because all these games that we're doing do not have at the time of this recording, a announced physical.
Boy. I like it. I like it.
Lay the wallpaper on me. I haven't looked it up yet. What do we got?
It
what
looks
we got?
like a Metroidvania.
You
There's
got
even a map in the
Metroidvania
corner.
style. You got a map in the corner. It says it can take an hour to beat the main story though, which is very non-Metroidvania like.
It's
So,
got anime illustration. It's got a really cool art style. It looks like your character has a grappling hook.
Okay.
Dude, this looks good, man.
The developer is Success Corporation, and the publisher is Digimerse. It says, because I looked it up while you were, Metroidvania style spring wire action. So you got a little bit Yumahari Kawase in it. 2D
like Bionic
says
Commando.
uses wires to explore in all directions. Steampunk retrospective that connects ancient history and modern times. Eliminate the global crisis, stirring the ruins through investigative action. So it's a little Metroidvania style game. Very, very cool. I think it's pretty awesome. Let us see. So Success Corporation is not tagged to any other games on Steam. Neither is Studio Seizen and the digital publisher either. So all three of these companies are not tied to any other games outside of this one. There's a female protagonist in it too, as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this game looks freaking cool. And so the thing is, that the wallpaper on when we're doing these randomizers, Tristan, is that every single one of these that I've selected, there's like 500, 600 games that I have. I feel like these are all games that I feel like I would enjoy as a gamer. That when I install them on my Steam Deck.
Yeah.
So there's 500 regular and like 400 budget titles that like essentially like I feel like I would like to try to potentially preserve physically. And so there's 1,000 games here, man. So we're like hacking this away one game every couple of weeks. It's going to take us the rest of our life, Tristan, to do this. But
oh boy, well, hey, good thing I just quit my day job.
But the thing is, I enjoy giving it a little more time than just me boosting up a game, playing it for 15 minutes, moving on. I don't want to do that with any game. The other piece is it will lend adding games to my upcoming indie gaming gems book that I'm doing.
Yeah,
that's be fun. I gotta work on some layouts and stuff because I wanna make sure that it's a really fun read. But of course I'm currently publishing that Nest book and then finishing up Switch Collector Volume 3 to get it ready for Kickstarter probably next year sometime. Switch Year 3. And yeah, dude, it's but yeah, this game looks really freaking cool for video game bullshit.
I'm excited.
What is it? Maya Steer, Ruins of Deznith.
Awesome.
And the thing is I would love to do this in the future is get these developers and see if they're available. Because who knows if they're English speakers or if they're available, maybe they come on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that would be really cool. Just to talk to them about the game that we just played, you know?
Exactly. Should we put a bow on the episode?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, man. Thank you everybody for checking us out for Video Game Bullshit. Definitely follow along with us. We do have a Discord. We're real lazy about getting on there though, but we do have a Discord.
Yeah, pretty bad.
It's there. But definitely hit us up. If you hit us up on Facebook or wherever on the Twitter, you definitely we will start interacting. It's just if y'all want us to. We're doing this for fun. And we don't expect much craziness to come out of Video Game Bullshit, but it's all for the preservation of gaming. So it's been fun.
That's right.
So thank you everybody for checking us out. We will see you next time.
Later, guys.